What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 86, 87 recap on my road to 700 pounds on bench press. So this week is going to be short and sweet because guess what? I'm fast forwarding in the future. Tomorrow is meet day and I'm going to get these recaps out to you as promised. I apologize. It's been hectic, as you guys can probably tell. It takes some time to put these videos together, but I definitely want to share my recaps with you guys. I do like to relax the last few weeks and especially the last week leading up to a meet. So that's why these recaps have not been out, but I got a spare moment. I literally did my weigh-ins this morning. I'll tell you guys how much I weighed in a little bit, but the meet is tomorrow, so I'm looking to get to bed early, but I want to get this recap out to you guys. And definitely excited about the last couple of weeks of training. I'm going to show you guys the recaps here and then wrap it all up and tell you guys about the meet and everything for tomorrow and let you guys get on your way. And as soon as the meet is done, I will put a recap together and get it posted for you guys. But let's jump into the week 86 recap. All right, so always hitting my heavy bench on day one. I also do heavy upper accessories as well. Showing my last warm-up here with 405. Getting a solid lift off from Justin Dubs here at Legacy Barbell Club in Spring, Texas. Very, very hospitable. Thank you guys for having me out. Last couple warm-ups here. This is 495. We'll just round that to 500. Looking to really, really just blast off. All right. 585 here. Moving very, very fast. Happy with that. Pec is holding up well, if in case you guys haven't noticed. Had some issues with that before. But here I'm actually going to do a, let's see, this is a 585 from the front. All right, we're going to go with 635 here. Top set today, we're looking to go probably north of 650. We're going to see how this all feels. We're definitely trying to dial things in right now. Being set back a couple weeks, we're not sure exactly kind of where we're at, but that was blazing fast. I am extremely happy with how that 635 moved. Here's a front view of it. I'm just really ecstatic that my pec is holding up. I was really scared that the pec strain for the last couple weeks. Last week 630 we were fine. 635 was great. We're going to try a different strategy here just because we're not used to the heavier weights. We're going to do a 675 static hold. This is just to acclimate the body, kind of shock the body into holding a heavier weight. That way when I put more weight on the bar than 635, it will not feel as heavy because I've held heavier weight. This is a strategy that you'll see me using in the next couple of weeks. And the next couple, actually, obviously the recaps are already done. But the strategy that I use to be able to accelerate the training feel. Now, I don't recommend that if, to be trying to jump 60 and 70 pounds and, using static holds just to eliminate the actual training. But I have already trained a lot heavier than 630, 650 in past training cycles. I just need to acclimate my body to kind of remember what it felt like so that I go through the full range of motion. So here we go, 650. When I lift off, it does not feel that heavy because I just did a 675 hold. That's the whole point. I do hit that sticking point. I told Dubs, do not touch that bar. I want to fight it. I know I haven't been able to hit this kind of weight in a while, and boom, I nailed it. Now, that doesn't look too pretty. It's definitely not meet worthy. It would definitely not pass in the competition, but take a look at the front view here. See that sticking point that I was hitting the last couple weeks? I hit it with 620. I hit it with 630. Now, I'm obviously doing a lot of stabilizer work. I'm doing a lot of band work, a lot of speed work, and that's eliminating that spot. So you'll see here in the next video what I'm talking about. So this is my speed work for the week, 555. This is part of working that sticking point. Now, 650 looked, I guess to an untrained eye, it looked bad because you're looking at it and you're like, my God, if you can't hit 650 right now, that means you're definitely not in the running for 700. Now, had I never hit 650 before in my life, possibly that would be an explanation. But because I know what 660 and 670 feel like, I know what 700 feels like, I just need to shock my body safely into getting back into the groove. We're hitting these sticking points with these bands right here. You see how I hit that sticking point? And I fight through it the whole way because the bands never let up. They don't allow you to coast through the lift at all. So you have to fight your sticking point. See this right here? How I fought it the whole time? So that's just one of the strategies, but it's definitely going to just absolutely annihilate that sticking point. So I want to show you this. I'm pretty proud of this. This is 110 pounds per hand on dumbbell pause floor flies. So this obviously shows that the pec is 110% healed. It's not even a worry in my book right now, but it's definitely a move that's going to help keep the explosion off the bottom of the chest very, very explosive, because there's two strategies. One is you work your sticking point to where it's not a weakness. The other is that you work your sticking point to where you're so freaking fast off your chest, it's like a car going over a speed bump. You're going to hit that sticking point, but if you hit it at 100 miles an hour, you're barely going to notice it, and you're going to coast right by it. And by the time it has any effect on the lift or on the bar, the lift's already completed. So that's one strategy. So I definitely want to work on the explosiveness of my lift. That's why you see every single lift that I do is very rarely I don't work the muscle, at least in the strength and the peaking phases. Now, when I'm in more of a hypertrophy phase and I'm working on a higher reps, absolutely, I'm working the muscle. I'm really working on growing the muscle, time under tension, things like that. But when I'm in a power phase, when I'm working right now, I want that bar off my chest yesterday. I want it off so freaking fast you don't even see it happen. So as soon as I get a press command, I am done with that lift. And so there's a couple of strategies that I'm working on there, working the back quite a bit that you see here with lat pull downs, with flies, with band work, with chains, with speed work, whatever I can do to annihilate that sticking point and work explosion off the chest, it's gonna make it seem like it doesn't even exist. So I had a squat day at my house here. I wanted to show you guys this because it is part of my back work, and I'm pretty proud of this because I haven't done like these really heavy chest supported rows in a while. So I work up to some heavy triples on this. I did obviously some work before this. These aren't the prettiest. These are not textbook form. This is really shocking the muscle after I've done several sets of 405 in this fashion. I do wear straps just to keep my grip from being a limiting factor, because my grip, I'm not really worried about deadlift grip or any kind of grip strength right now, so straps are not going to bother me. But moving on to day 3, obviously I did more stuff on day 2, I did some light squats, but this is my day 3. I'm at Dynamic Fitness in Katy, Texas, another very hospitable gym, takes care of me. I like the AC, that's really why I'm here, because it's really, really hot in Houston right now. But these are my rear delts. Rear delt flies, hitting these with just the full stack, no big deal. And somebody asked me the other time, you know, can I do the full stack on pec deck? Well, here you go. I'm hitting my pecs here. Now, this is an auxiliary exercise. I'm not looking to go all out because I've hit the pecs earlier in the week. So I can definitely hit a lot more weight than this, but the pecs need time to rest, because next Monday, according to the timeline in this video recap, we're going to be hitting heavy bench day, and so I want my chest to be rested. So here's some T3 raises. This is working my shoulders quite a bit. That's one other thing that I'm focusing on, at least for this training cycle, that I haven't in the past, or at least in the last few weeks, is you're going to be seeing me do a little bit more shoulder pressing. Obviously, the T3 raises is more of a recovery / blood flow exercise, really just opening up that rotator and keeping it healthy. My shoulders are really, really healthy right now, which I love. The fact that I'm going into a meet with no aches and pains, no tendonitis, no shoulder issues. Now, on this particular set, you're going to see I was having a little bit of shoulder issue with that right hand. You'll see as I pop it up, it's a little bit hesitant there. And then the second rep gets a little bit more greasy, and I'm good to go. So my shoulders were messing with me a little bit on this particular day, but mind you, this was about 2 weeks ago, and it's been healed up since then. I've iced it, I've taken care of it, done a lot of auxiliary stuff, bands, to really take care of that shoulder, because I don't want to go into a meet, if I can help it, with any kind of aches and pains, or at least major aches and pains. Working on a little bit of a neutral medium grip, not a wide grip, lat pull down here, just to take a little bit of the pressure off. And really, I think it works the back a little bit more, because I do have such a wide back. I'm not really looking to get it too much wider or huge, but I do want a big back. I do want a strong back. So working on some seated seated rows here. And this is basically just another back exercise. Another back exercise equals a bigger bench. And to finish out here on this particular back exercise day, I'm going to do some actual body weight pull-ups. This particular day I was about 295, we'll say, roughly. So working on a few sets of those, and finishing out here with some cable Y raises, 25 pounds worth of tension in each hand. This is really opening up those shoulders. Very similar to the T3 raise, but hitting it a couple sets later, so it really is not like I'm overworking the shoulder, but really, really opening it up. And you can see it's not really a grimace on my face there, just really working on making sure that I'm getting the shoulders worked and a lot of blood flow in there. And then I've got some tricep rope here, just doing it with a V-bar, just a little bit less pressure on the elbows, because the elbows were giving me a little bit of tendonitis, because as we start moving closer to the meet, the volume hadn't decreased quite yet, and so my elbows were giving me a little bit of tendonitis feedback, and so it just bothers me to do like a rope or an actual bar. But that is the week 86 recap. Very excited, honestly, how that 635 moved. The 650 was a little bit rough around the edges, like I said. I moved 675 like that a few training cycles ago and went in and absolutely freaking annihilated 672 and almost went 702 at that meet in February 2018. So I am not a stranger to going into a meet or before a meet not having 100% smooth lifts. It's ideal, obviously. You don't want to miss lifts. You don't want to have really crazy stuff. But if you guys have been following the training, you definitely know that I had 2 weeks worth of just kind of bad weeks where the pec strain would just, it kind of get worse and worse and worse. And it seemed that my training got laid off or got pushed back for 2 weeks. So I recognize that I'm going into this meet a little bit handicapped as far as what it could have been, and that is what it is. Sometimes you just have to fight the good fight with what weapons you have available. And so I don't think I don't think it's a deal breaker by any means. I think we can definitely salvage a very good training cycle here. But like I said a couple videos ago, it's not that 700 is the absolute like goal that has to happen in every single meet. Every single meet, a PR or better is the goal, no matter who you are. 700, I think, is definitely still in the cards, but I'm going to be smart about it. I'm definitely going to go in thinking, okay, let's go with anything above 672 is a PR. Let's go with that, and let's see what's left after those attempts. But let me go ahead and show you guys. This one's going to be really, really short because basically this last week, I went in, and this was actually 12 days ago. I went in and basically just wanted to hit my opener. Or projected opener, basically, because everything kind of goes off of how I feel the day of the meet and things like of that nature. But you go in, basically, when you do your weigh-ins, you need to have an opener chosen. So I like to know, what is it that I could potentially open with on a very, very good day? How does the speed look? How does it feel? And then I may or may not go above that for the last training day. Just depends on how everything feels. I always like to get... it's always nice to get within 20-30 pounds striking distance of my projected PR in the meet. But like I said, in past meets, I have gone somewhat close to it and then not missed a lift. And there's other times when I didn't quite get as close and I thought that I could, and I would get a 20 or 30 pound jump or more in the meet. So that was very, very exciting to have those things happen. But let's jump in to the short and sweet recap for 87, week 87 here. So showing you my last warm-up here, 405. You can compare that just if you go back just a few minutes, you'll see the last 405, and I think this is as fast as 405 has ever been. Doesn't feel like anything, honestly. It's kind of weird. 405 is still 405 pounds, but it's very cool to see it move that fast, even when I know when I'm underneath it, it is definitely that much weight. 495 there, 500 basically moving like a feather. And this is going to be basically the one that really tells me how the day is going to go. 585 is basically the one that I really judge everything off of. It just flies up, and I hit through that sticking point. I know it's there, but I know that I've been working on it the past few weeks, and I want to see this 630, which is projected opener, go just absolutely annihilate. So remember how the 620 and the 635 looked? It didn't even look like it was anything. I swear, I just looking at it, even now, like I've seen it a couple times since then, and I'll show you guys a front view. It honestly just, it felt like 495. So I knew things were just going to happen after this. So we went with this 630 here, and the plan is to go in to the meet with probably a pretty nominal opener. I mean, I know how that 630 looks, so I'm going to go in and actually do, let me tell you about that in a second. So this is a static hold here. I obviously moved it up quite a bit from 675 last week. First set here is 725. Didn't really feel too much. We're going to add a plate here and go 765. You can see a little bit of instability there just because it's a lot of freaking weight, and I don't weigh very much compared to that. I'm sitting about 290 on this day, 292-ish. So we go ahead and slap on some 25s there, 50 more pounds, and make it an 815. We could have gone much higher than this, but honestly, at this point, it's kind of you get to a point where you have diminishing returns, and you're not, it's great for the ego, but it really does nothing for the lift. I'm not going to be going into this meet going 750, 760 for a raw bench press. So to do much more than this is kind of overkill, and it actually is going to end up stressing the body too much, hurting the shoulders potentially. And if I happen to drop it, even though I've got the safety pins set up to where it won't do anything crazy, it's just not worth the treble. And honestly, it's just not worth trying to re-rack all those weights and everything if they fall. So, but that was 815 there for a nice little 5-6 second hold. Feeling good. Going to show you guys a front shot here. So basically, just kind of getting back to those sticking points. This is obviously, I will not have a problem with lockout. I will not have a problem with off the chest in the meet because those are my strong points. So I've recognized and I've spotlighted my weak spot, which is what I urge all you guys to do in your training. You're always going to have a weak spot, something in your lift, whether it's bench, squat, deadlift, or whatever your accessory work is. There's going to be a spot in that lift where it's like a speed bump, and that's what's going to prevent you from moving further, because as you try to add more weight, it's just going to slow down even more, and you're going to eventually fail it. So you want to absolutely focus on it. That's the whole point of training, is to get stronger. A lot of guys just go in and do the same thing over and over again. There is a rhyme, there's a reason, this calculated strategy for what I do. And I see you guys comment, different suggestions, and I really do appreciate it. But I tell you, if you just look at the last few weeks, how 600 moved, 620 moved, 630 moved, we really amplified training quite a bit, doing the same movements, but just actually amplifying and exaggerating some of the accessory work, which really targets the sticking points like the band work. And obviously explosion off the chest is there, lockout strength is there. I'm not gonna not lock out 700 plus pounds. I've held 815 over my head. So working on some little bit of neutral grip lat pull downs there, and some tricep work just to kind of finish the day. But this is basically a really short day in the gym. I hit the lifts that I wanted to hit. I got in there, took care of business, and I'm getting out. But I wanted to definitely hit some tricep work and some back work, because I'm not going to hit anything until the meet, other than possibly going in and doing some light work, which I actually did right here at home. And I did, that was Tuesday of this week, and this is Friday night. So Tuesday was that 3-4 days ago. I got in here and I did just on Instagram Live, just went ahead and did like 3 sets of 315, paused real quick, 3 sets of 3, and just moved it like it was no big deal. Obviously it's 315, but was moving about 40% of the weight, and that's just basically for blood flow, because I've been sitting out for about a week and a half or so, and my body just kind of gets lethargic just from not doing anything. So what I tend to do is just kind of feel things out. And if I feel like I'm not moving enough, normally I would go swim, hence the name Swim Hack. I'd go sit in the sauna, go sit in a hot tub, just kind of move around a little bit. But since most of the gyms and the pools, because of all the stuff going on in the world right now, they're closed due to social distancing and things like that. And just because everybody's very, very conscientious about having like public spaces open. Most of the pools that I would normally go to are just not open, so that wasn't really an option. But I've definitely been doing a lot of ice and heat just to kind of get any kind of thing, nagging pains or any aches, which luckily have been very much zero. But ice and heat actually promote blood flow and healing. So I use the ice to kind of constrict everything, and then I put heat, like a heating pad or warm hot water on my body or wherever it is that I'm having issues, my shoulder, knees, hips, whatever, pecs, just to kind of promote the blood flow again so I get some fresh blood in there. Very, very useful tool when you're trying to recover fully, which is the whole point of taking about 12 to 13 days off for myself. That's a little long for some of you guys. I wouldn't recommend starting off with probably a 2-week rest period, but if you're banging out 600 pounds above your head on bench, it's probably, and if you're not, 300-400 pounds, you probably are not going to recover as fast as somebody that's maybe a little smaller. But if you're a little smaller and you're not handling as much weight, your body's not handling as much pressure, you can probably get away with 5 or 6 days of rest. And I know some guys that work pretty heavy, almost right up to the meet. Now, not quite all the way to the meet, but maybe the last day of training is within 7 days, and it's a heavy day, and then boom, they hit the meet in 7 days. I have always been the type, it seems like, ever since I've started lifting in meets anyways, competitions, this will be like 6 years going on, 6 years in December, is I will actually take at least 10 days off. And I just feel that it gives myself a chance to really recover. There's a lot of soft tissues that get damaged while you're lifting heavy. And when you're lifting consistently and you're going in, they don't have time to heal before the next training cycle. And that's what compounds over time. Your big muscle groups are able to heal very, very fast. But the smaller things, the smaller tissues, the joints, the ligaments, the aching little things that are normally the nagging little pains that carry over from one training day to the next, or even one training cycle to the next, those are what heal in those longer rest times. That is why I take those longer rest times. And I can tell you, I am going into the meet. I weighed in this morning, 297 pounds, which is just under the 300-pound mark, which I kind of feel that's the kind of where I feel the strongest. Now, I could obviously gain some weight, but adding 2 or 3 pounds or even 10 pounds, if it's not muscle, it's not going to do jack for my lifts. But I feel healthy at the weight that I'm at now, which I lift better at being healthy. So that's kind of where I'm at. But feeling no aches, no pains. I'll sleep like a baby tonight and get up and get ready for the meet tomorrow. I'm very, very excited. I set my opener at a pretty nominal 606 pounds. I am actually going to be doing sort of a pseudo warm-up for this meet. I'm going to be doing a full power meet. All the focus is on bench, but because I'm not sure, there's a meet that I'm supposed to be doing at the end of September, and New York State is not currently open. A lot of the gyms are still closed. We're not sure if that meet's going to go on. So what I want to do is kind of give a testing grounds. I haven't been training heavy squats or heavy deadlifts for a while, but there's some low-hanging fruit when it comes to the records. Especially, I just turned 40 years old on July 15th. So thank you for all you guys out there that wish me happy birthday through Instagram and Facebook and things like that. I really appreciate that. But I'm an old man now. I'm 40 years old. I'm in the master's class. So there's a lot of guys that are looking to see what I can do in the master's class, as well as open, because obviously open is where all of my focus is on. But there's some records in the full power meet that I think I can go ahead and take, as well as the master's class, open and full power, bench and masters, I guess all 4 of those. So I'm looking to just kind of put my name in the record book some more. I mean, I really just want to leave a legacy that way, proof that I did what I did for my kids to look at someday. But the focus 100% is not going to be doing some crazy squat. It's more of us seeing where I'm at, kind of giving a little, maybe a 1 or 2 attempt on squat, and maybe 1 or 2 attempts on deadlifts after the bench goes well, and then putting 100% into bench and possibly taking even a 4th attempt. But by the time you guys see this recap, it should be posted before the meet happens. I'm going to try to get everything wrapped up tonight and posted for you guys. But I've mentioned a couple times on Instagram, if you guys are not following me over there and you have an Instagram account, or go get one, and that way you can follow me. But I'm over there at SwimHack. I post a lot of my daily videos. You've probably seen some of the stuff that I've done lately, as far as what I'm eating, what I'm doing on a daily basis, kind of family stuff. My wife and I just had our 16th wedding anniversary today. So I'm obviously very anxious to get this video over with. You know what I mean? So anyways, but that's it for the recap, you guys. This is 86 and 87 combined. I really apologize again for doing this to you guys, but that's just kind of the name of the game when I'm trying to balance a lot of different things, family and life, and obviously training, and getting these recaps out to you guys so you guys can follow along. But if you guys are new to the channel, definitely welcome. I hope this brings some insight to my training, as far as what it's like in my training and how I do things and recovery and what's important to me, definitely hit that subscribe button so you get new videos every week or once every other week. And kind of what my training looks like leading up to a raw 700-pound bench press, and a lot bigger than that as far as the full power side of things is concerned. But feel free to go back and check out some of my older videos. I definitely have a lot of good information, I think, that would benefit you guys as far as maybe injury prevention, what I've done in certain times, if I hit a strain or if I hit a bad training week. And a lot of the guys like to poke fun at the fact that I've been going at this for we're on 87. So it sounds like a lot of weeks, but 87 weeks is not even 2 years, even though technically I've been chasing a 700-pound bench for just about 2 years. It's just the way the recaps go. But I welcome you guys to poke fun at it because it gives me more motivation. I am looking to just really share what I'm doing with you guys. It doesn't bother me, honestly, at all. I don't know what my potential is with bench, with full power, but I'm training in a way that I think I would like to think that I'm bringing a different light to training than a lot of the guys out there. Not that there's a lot of bad influences, but there are some. And they just, everybody just thinks you got to go heavy all the time, or you got to constantly be busting your balls to try to get somewhere. And sometimes you just got to ride the wave and have fun with it and actually enjoy it. And that's where all the fun is. And then when you do that, records drop, and they drop like flies when you're having fun. Most of the guys that I know that are just nose to the grindstone and nothing else in life matters, they fall short. And if they don't fall short, everything else in their life falls short, and they're not happy in general. Now, that doesn't cover all bases. There's a lot of great guys that put 100% of whatever their goal is into that goal, and they smash it, and they go on to do bigger and better things. I'm talking about in general. When you're talking about just in general in life, a lot of guys just don't know, and I'm not talking about guys only, girls too. They don't know how to balance things. They don't know how to basically just go in and put 100% of their all into something and then just relax and do something else and actually have a few different things in a fire at one time versus only doing one thing. And it kind of messes things up, especially when I have 3 kids, a wife, I've got other family, I've got business associates, I've got friends, I've got things that go on outside of lifting. So my thing is, can I be a world champion and a great dad and a great husband and a good friend and all these other things? Because when I leave the gym, most people don't know me as SwimHack, the bench press guy. They know me as, oh, that's a really good web designer. Oh, that's my dad. Oh, yeah, of course he lifts weights, but if he doesn't play with me, who the hell cares how much he lifted this weekend? So I won't go on that rant or that tangent, but I'm hoping that my videos bring you guys a different insight, and that's really what I'm looking for. Develop a relationship with you guys so you guys can ask me questions. I welcome them. I haven't done my Q&As in a while, but I'm definitely going to open those up. And I'm always open for you guys to comment below. Send me an email, shoot me a DM on any of the social media platforms that you can find me on. I'm on Facebook, James Strickland Powerlifter, SwimHack on Instagram, and swimhack@gmail.com. But welcome any questions you guys have in your own training and what's going on. If you guys are looking for one-on-one coaching, I have a couple of spots that have opened up just due basically to a lot of the clients that I have. I have on pause because they're unavailable to actually lift in a gym. So for the time being, I have a little bit of time that I can open up to some new clients. So if you guys have ever thought about getting an online coach or you're interested in it, just shoot me an email through the website, bencholly.com. I've got online coaching. Just click that button and shoot me a message, and we can kind of discuss what your goals are and see if maybe that's a fit. Also, I have training programs, really, really popular training programs, sold thousands of them, and I really appreciate you guys supporting me that way. But if you just check out bencholly.com, everything is there. I got all my sponsors listed, so if you want to support me that way and buy anything from them, let them know. If there's not a promo code, let them know that you bought with me telling you about them. If there is a promo code or a special link, go ahead and use that link. All the kickbacks go to me as kind of an affiliate. But if you want to support me by buying a bench program or a full power program, I can definitely help you out with that. I've got a lot of great feedback I can send you if you have, kind of questions about that. But definitely hook me up. Let me know if I can help you out. Once again, follow me on all the social media platforms. Hit that subscribe button. Turn notifications on. And I will see you guys after the meet. I am so excited. I'm going in there. I've got some friends there. Going to have a great, great day. Regardless of what happens, I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. It's going to serve as a warm-up meet, but I'm going all out with this one. I never go into a meet where I'm just kind of timid. I am ready to go, balls to the wall, and smash whatever opposition comes in my face. I just hope that when I come out on the other side, it's something really, really cool to tell you guys, either a record of some sort or a PR of some sort or some learning experience, so that I can learn from it myself and keep moving on so that you guys could be inspired from it. But thanks, you guys. I will see you guys next week for the recap. See ya.